The invitation had been cream-colored cardstock, heavy in my hands for approximately 40 seconds before Marcus reached across the restaurant table and plucked it back. The embossed gold lettering caught the light. Marcus Chen, 40th birthday celebration, Sapphire Island Private Resort. Nothing personal, he said, though his jaw was tight. That little tell when he's lying. Vanessa thinks the guest list needs to be more curated. Vanessa, his wife of 3 years, didn't even look up from her phone. She'd been scrolling through what appeared to be seating charts, her French manicure tapping against the screen. The restaurant smelled of truffle oil and quiet money, the kind of place where they bring you complimentary champagne just for having a reservation. Curated, I repeated, setting down my water glass carefully. The condensation left a ring on the white tablecloth. You know how it is, Marcus continued, and now he was warming to his excuse, building it in real time. This is a milestone birthday. Vanessa's parents are flying in from Singapore. My managing partners from the firm will be there. We need people who understand how to present themselves at these kinds of events. There was the thing he didn't want to say directly. I was an embarrassment. I was the sister who worked in non-profit management. Always said with slight air quotes as if it weren't a real job. The sister who drove a 6-year-old Camry. The sister who wore the same black dress to every family function because it was classic and well-made and I saw no reason to replace it. I understand, I said, and I did. I understood perfectly. My mother had called me 2 days earlier. Just go along with what Marcus wants, she'd said, her voice carrying that familiar pleading tone. He's been so stressed with the promotion. Vanessa has very specific ideas about how things should be done. You know how you can be sometimes. How I could be. Quiet, observant, unwilling to perform enthusiasm I didn't feel. I'd spent 37 years watching my family mistake my quietness for weakness, my contentment for failure. Marcus had the corner office and the German car. I had something else entirely, something I'd built deliberately and carefully over 12 years. Something they'd never bothered to ask about. The event planner has it all handled, Vanessa said, finally looking up. Her eyes were cold and assessing. 200 guests. 7-course dinner. Fireworks at sunset. Marcus deserves something spectacular. Sapphire Island, I said neutrally. That's ambitious. It's exclusive, Marcus corrected. Took Vanessa 6 months to even get a booking. Apparently the owner is very selective about events. I took a slow sip of water. The ice clinked against the glass. Very selective, I agreed. Marcus shifted in his seat. Anyway, I hope you understand. It's not about you. It's just the optics. The optics of having your unsuccessful sister present. The optics of someone who might not know which fork to use, despite having attended enough charity galas to teach a masterclass on formal dining. The optics of failure by association. I understand completely, I said and stood. The chair made a soft sound against the floor. Enjoy your birthday, Marcus. I walked out through the restaurant, past tables of people eating $60 steaks, past the sommelier discussing wine pairings, out into the parking garage where my Camry sat between a Tesla and a Range Rover. The concrete smelled of exhaust and salt air from the nearby harbor. I sat in my car for 3 minutes, hands on the steering wheel, breathing slowly. Then I opened my property management app and scrolled to Sapphire Island Private Resort. Status. Booking pending, Chen event July 15th. I tapped review required and added a note. Owner approval needed before contract finalization. My phone rang at 6:47 p.m. Marcus. I let it go to voicemail. He called again at 7:02 p.m. Then 7:15 p.m. Then Vanessa called. Then my mother. I was in my apartment by then, a 2-bedroom condo in a neighborhood my family considered up and coming, which meant they thought I couldn't afford better. The walls were painted soft gray. Through the window the city lights spread out like scattered diamonds. I poured a glass of wine, a very good Bordeaux from a case I'd bought at auction, and listened to the voicemails on speaker. Marcus, first message, Elena, call me back. There's some kind of issue with the island booking. The event planner is freaking out. Marcus, second message, this is serious. They're saying they need owner approval. Do you know something about this? Vanessa, breathless and angry. If you did something to sabotage Marcus's party, I swear to God. My mother, voice shaking. Elena, please. Whatever's happening, fix it. You know how important this is to Marcus. I took another sip of wine. The ghost ledger, I thought. Time to add it all up. I opened my laptop and created a new spreadsheet. Title: The Ghost Ledger: What Marcus's Birthday Cost Me. Item: Thanksgiving 2019. Event: Marcus announced his engagement to Vanessa. Spoke for 47 minutes about their future. No one asked about my job. Cost: self-worth. Dignity. The belief that my achievements mattered to my family. Item: Christmas 2020. Event: Mother spent 90 minutes discussing Marcus's promotion. My nonprofit secured $4.2 million in funding that year. No one asked. Cost: the memory of that Christmas. What should have been celebration became endurance. Item: Easter 2021. Event: Marcus needed emergency loan, $35,000 for down payment gap. Paid him from my personal account. He said, "I'll pay you back when I get my bonus." Cost: $35,000 plus the bonus he never mentioned again. Also, the knowledge that my help would be forgotten. Item: Mother's Birthday 2022. Event: Marcus gave her a spa weekend. I gave her a framed photo. She cried over his gift. Said mine was thoughtful in that tone people use when they mean inadequate. Cost: 4 hours choosing that frame. The hope that effort might equal value in her eyes. Wrong. Item: Weekly Sunday Dinners 2019 to 2024. Event: Every week, discussions of Marcus's cases, Marcus's clients, Marcus's victories. My work dismissed as charity stuff. Cost: 260 dinners. Approximately 520 hours. The accumulated weight of invisible labor, emotional performance swallowed corrections. Item: Family Photo 2023. Event: Vanessa insisted on professional photographer. Made me stand in back because my dress didn't photograph well. Cost: literal physical space. The visual representation that I was background, not family. The math was clear. The account had been overdraft for years. My phone rang again. This time I answered. Elena. Marcus's voice was strained. What the hell is going on? I'm not sure what you mean, I said, taking another sip of wine. Through the phone I could hear Vanessa in the background, her voice sharp and escalating. The event planner called. Sapphire Island needs owner approval for our event. She said. He stopped. She said the owner is named Martinez. Like you. Martinez is a common name, I said mildly. Elena. A long pause. Do you own Sapphire Island? I looked at my laptop screen at the spreadsheet documenting years of dismissal. At the column titled Balance Due, that could never really be paid. I've owned Sapphire Island for 8 years, I said. Purchased it in 2016 when I was 30. The resort was failing. I restructured it, brought in new management, rebuilt the brand. It's now valued at $14.7 million and books 3 years in advance for most dates. Silence. Complete absolute silence. But you work in nonprofits. I run the Taurus Foundation, I said. We provide housing and job training for formerly incarcerated individuals. Last year we helped 847 people. Our operating budget is $6.2 million annually. I also own 17 residential properties for commercial buildings in Sapphire Island. The nonprofit is my purpose. The rest is my portfolio. More silence. I could hear him breathing. I bought the Camry because it's reliable and I don't care about cars, I continued. I wear the same dress because I spent my money on assets instead of appearances. I live in an up-and-coming neighborhood because I bought the building in 2018 and I'm watching my investment appreciate. I don't talk about my work at family dinners because no one ever asks. I didn't know, Marcus said, and his voice had gone small. You didn't want to know, I corrected gently. There's a difference. You needed me to be unsuccessful so you could be the successful one. You needed my failure as contrast for your achievement. It was easier than considering that maybe we'd both done well, just differently. Elena, About your birthday party, I said, cutting him off. I'll need to review the full event proposal before approving use of my property. Please have your planner send me the complete contract, including your insurance certificate, guest list, and catering plans. I'll need 72 hours for review. 72 hours? The party is in 9 days. Yes, I said. That does make timing tight. I could hear Vanessa in the background. Tell her we'll pay extra. Tell her we'll double the rental fee. The standard rental fee is $45,000 for a private event, I said. That includes the island, the resort facilities and base staffing. Your event, as planned, would run approximately $120,000 with catering, entertainment and the fireworks display. I assume Vanessa mentioned these costs. We have the money, Marcus said defensively. I'm sure you do. But that's not really the question, is it? The question is whether I approve your use of my property for an event I'm not invited to attend. The words hung in the air. I heard Vanessa gasp. Heard my brother's breath catch. You can't be serious, Marcus said. You'd really hold my birthday party hostage because you're upset about the invitation? I'm not holding anything hostage, I said calmly. I'm following my standard approval process. All event requests require owner review. I'm simply being very selective, as you mentioned. The owner is very selective about events. Elena, please. I'll review your proposal, I said. Send me the complete documentation. I'll let you know my decision. I hung up. The next 72 hours were instructive. My phone exploded. 27 calls from Marcus. 15 from Vanessa. 32 from my mother, who progressed from pleading to angry to desperate. 6 from my father, who I hadn't heard from in 3 years except for birthday texts. The voicemails were a progression study in entitlement. Hour 1. Elena, this is just a misunderstanding. Of course you're invited. I'll have Vanessa send a new invitation right away. Hour 8. You're being completely unreasonable. This is Marcus's milestone birthday. You're seriously going to ruin it over your hurt feelings. Hour 24. I've spoken to a lawyer. You can't just refuse a booking for personal reasons. That's discrimination. Hour 48. Please. I'm begging you. Vanessa's parents are already on their way from Singapore. We've sent out 200 invitations. Everyone knows about this party. Please don't humiliate us. Hour 72. Complete silence. A single text from my mother. How much do you want? I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I spent those 72 hours very productively. I contacted my property attorney and had her review the booking contract. I consulted with my property manager about alternative dates. I reviewed similar cases where private property owners had declined events. And I thought about the gambler's fallacy. I'd learned about it in an economics class years ago. The idea that if you keep playing, keep feeding coins into the machine, eventually you'll hit the jackpot. That past investment justifies future investment. That sunk cost should determine present action. I'd been playing my family like a slot machine for 37 years. Putting in effort, achievement, patience, love, feeding the machine, waiting for the jackpot of acknowledgement. Of being seen. Of mattering. The machine was never going to pay out. On the evening of hour 72, I sent an email to Marcus's event planner. After careful review, I must decline to host the July 15th event at Sapphire Island. The property is not available for this booking. Please seek alternative venues. Sincerely, Elena Martinez, owner. Marcus showed up at my building 23 minutes later. The doorman called up. Ms. Martinez, you have a visitor who seems quite agitated. Please tell him I'm not available, I said. He's insisting. Thomas, I said gently, please tell him I'm not available. If he doesn't leave voluntarily, call the police for trespassing. Marcus left. But the next morning my entire family appeared at my apartment door. Mother, father, Marcus, Vanessa. All 4 of them looking exhausted and desperate. I opened the door but didn't invite them in. We need to talk, my father said. He'd aged since I'd last seen him. Gray at the temples, lines around his mouth. I don't think we do, I said. Elena, please, my mother said. You've made your point. You're successful, we get it. You don't have to punish Marcus for one mistake. One mistake, I repeated. Is that what you think this is about? You're being vindictive, Vanessa said. Her voice shook with rage. You're sabotaging Marcus's party because you're jealous that he's actually made something of his life. I looked at her. Really looked at her. The designer handbag. The jewelry that cost more than most people's monthly rent. The absolute certainty in her eyes that she was right. I'm not being vindictive, I said quietly. I'm being realistic. You asked me to stay away from Marcus's party because I'm an embarrassment. I'm simply honoring that request by ensuring my property isn't used for an event where I'm not welcome. This is consistency, not revenge. We'll invite you, Marcus said desperately. You can come. Front row seat, I promise. No, I said simply. I don't want to come to your party, Marcus. I don't want to stand in the corner while people ask me what I do and then lose interest. I don't want to smile while you make toasts about success and achievement and family. I don't want to be there. Then what do you want? My mother asked, and she was crying now. What will make this right? Nothing, I said. There's nothing you can do to make this right because this isn't about Marcus's party. This is about 37 years of being invisible. This is about every Sunday dinner where no one asked about my work. Every holiday where my achievements were acknowledged with, "That's nice," before pivoting to Marcus. Every time you needed money or help or emotional support and I provided it and was never thanked. This is about the ghost ledger, and the balance due is far more than you could ever pay. We didn't know you felt this way, my father said. You didn't ask, I replied. And that's the entire point. I closed the door. Marcus ended up booking a hotel ballroom in the city. The party went on as planned, though I heard through a mutual acquaintance that the optics were disappointing. A hotel instead of a private island. The kind of venue anyone could book if they had the money. 6 months later, I'm sitting on the deck of Sapphire Island, watching the sunset paint the water in shades of amber and rose. The resort is fully booked for the next 3 years. My foundation just secured an additional $2.3 million in grants. My property portfolio is performing exactly as projected. My phone hasn't rung with a family call in 5 months. No Sunday dinner invitations. No holiday texts. No emergency loan requests. The silence feels different now. Doesn't feel like being ignored. It feels like peace. I've learned something important about revenge. It isn't rage screamed across a room. It isn't dramatic confrontation or elaborate schemes. Revenge is simply the moment you stop subsidizing someone else's narrative about who you are. The moment you reclaim your own story and let them live in the consequences of their assumptions. Marcus needed me to be unsuccessful. I let him believe it for years because correcting him felt like proving something, and I was tired of proving things. But when he tried to erase me completely from his celebration of success built partially on money I'd loaned him and emotional labor I'd provided, he forced a choice. I chose myself. The account is closed. The balance is 0. And I am finally in the black.